We know what to expect from Scott Pendlebury. We know that every week the number 10 will lead Collingwood onto the field, wait for the ball to drop, and then let his fancy feet do the moving.
The captain strolls in. All-class Scott Pendlebury.
Watching Pendlebury dance and work his way through traffic is like watching poetry in motion. And in 2015, there were plenty of highlights to see. Pendlebury started the year in style as the Magpies toppled the Lions by 12 points at the Gabba.
So look at Pendlebury, the game just slows down when that man gets the footy.
As the season gained momentum, so did the captain's form. He was valiant in defeat in Collingwood's 27-point loss to the Crows in round 2, before embarking on a huge month, which was capped off by a performance against Carlton, which saw him awarded the Richard Pratt Medal for the best player on the ground. Round 8's trip to the Sunshine State was all about Scott Pendlebury, as the captain prepared to take on the Suns in his 200th AFL game. Those who made the trip to see Collingwood's 69-point win over the Suns were in for a treat.
Oh, how did they keep that in, Pendlebury?
Pendlebury was dynamic as he collected 35 possessions and a season-high 3 goals. His third was remarkably special and typified the elegance that we've come to expect over the years.
Scotty Pendlebury in game 200. Poetry in slow motion, Scott Pendlebury.
The highlights reel didn't end there. In a narrow loss to Hawthorn in round 14, the 27-year-old had 37 disposals, 10 tackles and another 10 clearances.
Pendlebury created his own space, moved by standing still.
He would do the same just over a month later when Collingwood finally snapped a 6-game losing streak with an 18-point victory over Carlton.
Pendlebury, speaking of the cream.
The next 3 weeks saw the skipper tally over 30 disposals in each match, including a dominant performance against Geelong in round 22, which saw Pendlebury play his role in defence, serving as the club's quarterback as he set up a 48-point win. Just as he has done so in the first 8 years at the club, Pendlebury's season included the consistency and dominance that we've seen so much in the past, and his leadership will have no doubt have positioned this young side to achieve even more success in 2016. When Marley Williams bashes and crashes his way through the middle of the MCG, it's hard to believe this man from Albany, Western Australia, is just 22 years old. Williams plays with a sense of maturity and purpose that defies the fact that his career has so far lasted just 57 games and 4 seasons. Perhaps it's the fact that Williams is one of the first players picked every week that leads to the assumption that he's been wearing the black and white for years. In 2015, the defender played a career-high 20 games, with the only exceptions being Collingwood's round 15 clash with Port Adelaide and the side's final game of the season against Essendon. Both of these games resulted in narrow losses, meaning that Williams was a member in every one of Collingwood's victories in 2015. He's classed as underrated, but this may not be the case for much longer. After career highs in disposals, rebound 50s, clearances and contested possessions, Williams' reputation is rising. It took until his 4th year on the list, but the defender finally got a chance to run onto the MCG on the biggest day in the home and away calendar when Collingwood met Essendon in round 4's traditional Anzac Day clash. In front of the biggest crowd he'd ever played in front of, Williams was prolific throughout the hard-fought 20-point victory. His 13 contested possessions were just second to Scott Pendlebury on the day and marked a career high for the young defender. These sorts of milestones just kept on coming. In a city known for its fast-paced lifestyle, Collingwood sure did party on the field against the Gold Coast in round 8. Williams collected 33 disposals as the Magpies smashed the Suns by a whopping 69 points. 5 games later, Williams was in the spotlight again as he celebrated his 50-game milestone at the MCG against Hawthorn. The Magpies put up a fight against the reigning premiers, and Williams was a major factor as he won 27 possessions.
Williams, such finesse.
At the beginning of the second quarter, he put the home side in front with his first goal of the 2015 season and just the 5th of his career.
Taken by Williams under pressure, has a snap, I think it's good.
Another 33 disposal game followed against the Eagles, just 4 days shy from Williams' 22nd birthday. The coaches love him, and it seems as though the rest of the football community has started to catch Marley Williams fever. This year, he was a regular vote-getter in the AFL Coaches Association Player of the Year award and constantly impresses Nathan Buckley & Co with his discipline and ability to get the job done on a weekly basis. The phrase breakout season is thrown around a lot this time of year, but there's no better way to describe the season of Marley Williams in 2015.